this is the future of our society. They win in demographics. They already have almost the majority now when it comes to youngsters. And they are representing as well an enormous electoral force. Why are they pampered in my country, by the Social Democrats? They are pampered because they represent an enormous voting force, not only because the leftish and the liberal invented the concept of the multicultural society and the cultural relativism in the 60s and the 70s, and they are not willing to admit that they make a mistake. Sometimes politicians are almost like humans, not willing to admit a mistake, but they have a big interest in it. There are those voters. We have had municipality elections in Rotterdam, where the former party of Mr. Fortuyn was very strong, where they lost the elections because of the Muslim vote.
No.
It's already happening today.
So there it is. Yeah.
It is there.
In the United States, we have one Muslim congressman out of 435, and his election was hailed as a triumph of multiculturalism and diversity. And even though well, there are many questionable things about him, I was wondering, are there similar figures in national governments in Europe already?
Yes, well, in my country, in the Netherlands, and I made a big noise about that, and I had a debate, and I had a motion of non-confidence, which unfortunately was rejected. We have 2 Muslim members of cabinet, and I did not complain because they were Muslim, because this would be ridiculous.
Yes.
But one person from Turkey and one from Morocco. What is the problem? That they have double nationality. A lady secretary of justice who is besides Dutch also Turkish, and a minister of social affairs who is also Moroccan, from Moroccan nationality. And I think this is something we can never expect, because if you have double nationality, you have not only double loyalties, but there is also, for instance, the Turkish constitution gives you certain duties and gives you certain penalties. For instance, if you are critical to the Assyrian problem or to the problem of Cyprus, according to the penal law in Turkey, if you are a Turkish person living abroad, you get 50% more of a penalty, or you have to be able to go to the army. Imagine if we are, and I hope we will never will, we be in a war with Morocco. What would this member of the Dutch cabinet do? I mean, where is the loyalty besides the loyalty by the Moroccan constitution? So it's happening already today, and I think it's very wrong. You should have only one loyalty, and I would have said, by the way, the same if there was a minister who had also the passport from Sweden, because the principle is the same, but it's not from Sweden, it's from 2 Arab countries, and the influential and the double loyalties are increasing and increasing. People don't like it. I got a lot of support when I initiated that debate in the Dutch Parliament, but of course it was rejected by 90% of the Parliament.
Probably because they saw it as racist.
They did. They surely did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yet, race has nothing to do with this.
No, like I said, I also said in Parliament that if the lady, who by the way is a very good politician, I have nothing against her, it's about double loyalties, if she would have been Swedish with blonde hair, I would have made exactly the same point. And the people said, I don't believe that, you only say it because she's from Turkish origin, which is nonsense.
One last question, and I thank you for your time this morning. If you became Prime Minister of the Netherlands, what would you do besides limiting immigration, which of course is very important, to try to stem the tide of Islamization?
Well, besides exactly what you said, the stop of the immigration, I would first, because I believe that it's also a problem of way of thinking, like I said, I would try to stop the fact that we are cultural relativists. I would put what the Germans call a Leitkultur. In my country that word has a very negative connotation because it's in German, but what it means is a leading culture, not a monoculture. Of course, other cultures are welcome, but I would put in our constitution an article that our dominant culture is based on humanism and the Judeo-Christian values. This is very important. It's more than symbolism, because you can make a lot of laws referring to that article. Secondly, I would want to stop the Islamic symbolism. I don't like that there are almost more mosques than churches in the Netherlands. So I would want to stop not only the foreign funding from Gulf countries in Saudi Arabia to buy mosques, but there are enough mosques in the Netherlands today. I would want to close Islamic schools, not because it's like, again, out of a racist motives, because I believe that Islam, like I said, not the people, but the ideology, is very dangerous, and the worst thing we can do is, if we want people that are already in our countries to assimilate, and I do, that well, young children and young boys are being brought up and being educated with an ideology full of hate. So stop it. We could have programs like we even have today in the Netherlands for voluntary remigration to the country of origin. A lot of people use it, but it could be done far more than it's done today. And I think that it's very important because nowadays in the Netherlands we have almost every month debates when there is a lot of crime committed by Moroccan youngsters or people from Islamic origin. And that is not, they don't commit a crime with the Quran in their hand, but it has a very big cultural component. Yes. And people are not only fed up with that, but this is really not an incident, but a structural security problem in the Netherlands. And it shows the difference of values. I mean, calling people, women, just because they are walking through the streets, a whore, or stabbing ambulance personnel, or the police, or whatsoever. No respect for anything else. I mean, people from 13 years old say on the street to Dutchmen, wait, in 10 years we will be the boss here and we will kick your queen out as the first. I mean, this is not one person who says it, it's the general attitude. And I believe that we would be far more strict. We used in the Netherlands, unfortunately we are a country of consensus. We have a multi-party system, we only compromise, and we like to hold each other's hands and sing Christmas songs under the Christmas tree all year long, and nothing really is changing. And what I wish is that we give an example, that we tell them that if you are not complying to our values and our laws, then there is no place for you in the Netherlands. If you adhere and assimilate to our laws, okay, you can stay, you are equal as anybody else. But unfortunately you are not, and if you are not, we will strip you of your nationality if you have a double nationality, and we send you away to Morocco. Robert, I always said in my parliament to the speaker and to our prime minister that if you would do that, I am sure that we would only need 1 or 2 planes, because people would see that we would take this problem seriously and they would change their tune. If you stab somebody now or beat up a guy or woman as a Moroccan, you will get community work for 2 hours or for 10 hours or something like that. There is no penalty, and the government even gives incentives to that. So be stronger, be tougher, show them that there is never a place for violence, Islamic violence in the Netherlands. Like I said, the most important thing is immigration, a stubborn immigration. And it's very important, if you allow me as a few last words, that I'm not talking about asylum seekers. I'm talking about immigration. I voted in my parliament in favor of, for instance, homosexuals from Iran to get temporary visas as asylum seekers in the Netherlands. This is something different. There should always be a place for people like that in the Western countries. I'm talking about what I say, the Islamic intifada that is coming from a lot of Maghreb, from a lot of Islamic countries. I'm talking about the colonizing of our country by huge amounts of Muslims that are really not willing to integrate, but willing, whose own and sole aim is that at the end of the day to overrule and to submit and to use every possible means to achieve that. We should stand up and tell them it will never happen, enough is enough, we will defend our own culture and heritage.
Bravo, yes. Well, I hope that you will one day be the Prime Minister and
I hope.
these policies.
Who knows?
And you're great in any case. You're a great hero in Europe and around the world.
Thank you very much.
And an example that I hope many more politicians will follow.
I hope so.
So, Geert Wilders, thank you very much.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure to be your guest. And I read really, I'm not just saying that to be kind, but your books are being read so much in Europe, and you're really seen as an icon in our fight. And you asked before, what could American and people do in order to help? Well, maybe you allow me to say one thing, please. You will make an enormous contribution and help by staying and continuing writing all those fabulous books.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Certainly will. Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure.